100 horsepower. This on the line, this incredible car. This man, such a character at Drift Masters, said that he was so desperate to get back. What can he do here in the stadium? Oh, a little tag, you can see it just upset the car, but now works himself back into it again on the foot brake. Naoki Nakamura fires himself into outside zone 4, sets himself up lovely on the foot brake. Flirts with danger though, that rear wheel so close to the wall. You see these short chassis GRs and GT86s cause bad damage, but no problem so far for Naoki Nakamura as he gets into outside zone 7 on the foot brake, dials on the angle, fires the back end towards the wall. Scenes down there are crazy. The final is mad. The final's going to get even madder because Naoki Nakamura comes off the line in this incredible GR86. He fires through the man from Japan. What can he do as he sits in 26th place with a 91 at the moment? Drift Masters final is heating up turn by turn as we turn the temperature up for the Red Bull Drift Masters final here at a Pagay Narodoway in Warsaw as Naoki Nakamura fulfills all of the outside zones. He flicks the car across the circuit, down to the handbrake, slows it down, and then has to get back on the foot brake to push the back end towards the wall. Nakamura on the throttle once again and across the line.
He's another driver just stepping up, just getting crazier. Tire life, they because it's not a high deck track, they don't mind leading first, and they know they've got enough left on it to put up a good chase.
Well, there we go, interesting times at Drift Masters finale here in Warsaw in Poland as Jarko Juna leads out Naoki Nakamura. Nakamura straight onto the door of that JZX100 as Jarko Juna, the finishman, tries to put on the best, the cleanest lead line he can, and look at that line already as Jula gets into outside zone 4. There's no shaking Naoki Nakamura though as Nakamura goes for that front wheel, shallow angle out of the outside zone, now falls into formation, starts to push Jarko Juna around the circuit, starts to bully the young Finn as they get into outside zone 6. Both guys tag the wall, both guys make a correction, but now get back into it on the wall and across the line. Japanese legend. Come off the line and through the gears. It's going to be Nakamura to lead out Jarko Jula as they fire into that first outside zone. Look at this from Jula, straight onto the side, straight onto the door, manages it, dials it in and mirrors the angle. This is brilliant from Jarko Jula, and it's a really clean lead line so far from Naoki Nakamura as he works the angle into the car. A little scrappy in outside zone 4, but now starts to accelerate away as he picks up outside zone 5. Jarko Jula though can't be shaken as the young Finn gets into it. Outside zone 6 fulfilled, and Jarko Jula has been with him the whole way, and Jula almost overtakes him across the line.
Wow, Jarko Jula is absolutely on it.
He's that start line, Marshall Martin, who's now donned the shirt for the final battles of the evening. They get the cars into gear and they're off the line. Nakamura to chase down Makiva. Through the gears they go as Makiva fires into outside zone 1. Little dab of the handbrake now sets himself up perfectly. Both guys touch the wall though, and Makiva starts to shred the back bumper off the back of that 180SX as they flick through once again. Makiva into outside zone 4, sets himself up nicely, but look at this, no shaking. The Japanese driver Nakamura shows off the angle, trying to put the front wheel on the door. Oh, so much grip, he pops a wheel off the tarmac. We've not seen that all evening as Nakamura now hunts down Makiva. Both of them touch the wall. They go for the final outside zone. They're into the wall again. That's a mistake. Wow. We'll see how this one goes as they swap them around and they go for it again. Look at this, Makiva super aggressive as he goes down the door of Naoki Nakamura. They fire into outside zone 1. Nakamura into the wall. Look at this, Makiva tagging the door already, pushing Naoki Nakamura around the circuit. They transition back. Makiva goes for it. He's on the hunt right now for a kill as he goes for the front wheel of Nakamura's GR86. They both fire through. They look for outside zone 5, collected as they transition together, perfectly timed. But look at Makiva, he's onto the front wheel, he's glued to the side of that GR86. They go wheel to wheel across the line. Wow!
Let's go. He's that excited the moment he steps foot on grid. He's like this all weekend. I don't know how he does it.
No, so nor do I, but here we go. We're going to find out how he's going to do it right now. They come off the line and through the gears. It's going to be Alan Hines to fire in that S15. He gets into that first outside zone and tickles the wall with the back end. And now Naoki Nakamura starts to find the side of that green and white S15. They fire into outside zone 4. Nakamura with him once again as Alan Hines shallows up the angle, and it looks like he struggles there for a little bit of pace and grip, and now starts to unwind and uncoil the spring as they get into outside zone 6. Naoki Nakamura can't be shaken. Hines on a very shallow line. He tries to bowl away, but he can't get away from him. Up the side of that GR86 as he almost pushes Nakamura off the start line. They burst through the gears, flames erupt. They go for it as they fire in. Nakamura starts to put a gap already on Alan Hines as he has to shallow up the angle, fire that car in and flick it to angle. angle. They fire through that inside zone, back into outside zone 4 as Nakamura shallows up the angle, now starts to wind on the angle, the grip in full effect as he fires through the middle of the circuit. Alan Hines looks like he's playing chase with a mouse right now. He can't hang with Nakamura. Shallows up the angle once again as he puts it to the line. Shot to be in the final. The anti-lag pops and bangs from the back of the GR86 as they come off the line. This is it, a spot in the final awaits. Will it be Poland? Will it be Japan? They flick the cars from left to right and in to outside zone 1. Nakamura shallows off the angle, gets himself into the wall but deals with it as Korpolinski once again clean. The surgeon puts on a clinic out front and opens the door for Nakamura, and he certainly does open the door as Nakamura takes a step in, he takes a step out and then back in again as Nakamura plays with Korpolinski. The grip in that car is phenomenal as Korpolinski dials on the angle, tries to shake the Japanese driver, but there's no losing Nakamura. What he's going to try and do. They sit on the line, the cars come off the line and through the gears. Nakamura will lead out Pavel Korpolinski as they fire into the initiation. Korpolinski goes earlier than Nakamura and uses that to fire the car up into the door of that GR86 as they come through that inner zone. Korpolinski takes the bumper off on the wall. Korpolinski's not messing around as he drags it around the circuit. He now tries to get closer to Nakamura as they fire through. Korpolinski is not messing around. He wants this more than ever. A shot for the final awaits for Korpolinski, but look at Nakamura as he flicks it to angle.
That last 5% that Korpolinski another gear and another way to drive this car and doing things that we would never expect. And the question becomes, does he do it again? Does he push harder, or does he fall back to the precision that he knows so well?
There we go. We're off the line. We're about to find out as Pavel Korpolinski flicks the car across the circuit. Look at that. Nakamura straight line initiation, dives straight in, dips the car down, now works his way into the door and on to the rear bumper of Pavel Korpolinski's S14. Korpolinski seems to have turned that car up, more grip than before, and it looks like Nakamura now struggling to keep up, but he does make some dives in outside zone 4. He's going to make a dive here across the circuit, and he does as they get into outside zone 6. Korpolinski goes for it, absolutely flying, and once again Nakamura loses ground across the line. Start line Marshall and our Japanese driver. Here we go, off the line though, no messing around. Nakamura bangs through the gears. Look at the aggression already from both guys as Korpolinski fires in. He's on the inside of the circuit. He needs to regain some lost ground in outside zone 1 as they flick through. Play dangerous game as they squeeze those cars alongside the wall into this long outside zone 4, door to door, wheel to wheel, as Nakamura flicks the car to angle, looking for outside zone 5. Korpolinski hunting him down on the handbrake, getting that car set up for outside zone 6 as they now go wheel to wheel, bumper to bumper. There's no messing around as Nakamura flicks it to the wall. Spray the champagne. I'm going to celebrate with Conor Shanahan, but Naoki Nakamura slams that car into gear and says, well, you've got to go through me first. They're off the line. This is it. The third step on the podium awaits for one of these drivers as they slam through the gears. James Dean flicks the Ford Mustang across and into outside zone 1, but Nakamura is flawless as always into the door already as Nakamura won't let James Dean get away. They flirt with danger on the wall as they get into outside zone 4. James Dean on the throttle, on the zone, in the wall and on contact with Naoki Nakamura as they get across the circuit into outside zone 6. James Dean dials on the angle, but his contact, and did that upset the line from James Dean as they get into 7 across the line.
This is the type of battle that both of them are looking for.
They come off the line, ready to go as both cars hop off the tarmac into gear and through across the circuit. Nakamura fires in. James Dean knows he can't let him get away. Oh, they both make contact with the wall and each other as Dean flexes the back end of that Mustang. They shallow up through inside 3, now back onto it, into outside zone 4. James Dean on the door, tagging Nakamura, not messing around, letting him know he's there, but Nakamura seems to have a little bit more pace in that car as he squeezes the throttle, tries to drive away from James Dean.